And welcome back to Up North at 4. Today we are 10 years ago, queer eye star and celebrity interior designer Thom Filicia donated his bone marrow to his brother who was diagnosed with myelofibrosis. Here we got the chance to sit down and talk to him a little bit about it.
10 years ago, my brother was, experiencing symptoms and not feeling right and fatigue, and he was just not able to sleep, and he knew something wasn't right, and it was a real sort of mix of different symptoms that he was experiencing, and nothing was very clear to him. So luckily, he ended up going to his doctor to just figure out why he was feeling the way he was feeling and not feeling great. He had a bone pain and some other issues. But he was then pretty quickly diagnosed with myelofibrosis, and he didn't really know what that was. And when he was explaining to us what it was very difficult to get that information and make sense of it because we didn't know what it was, and there was no place to really investigate what it was and understand, have any understanding of what myelofibrosis was or how it would affect somebody or how someone would navigate sort of dealing with myelofibrosis. So we really felt sort of handicapped, and it was a very scary moment. And the reason that that I'm involved with GSK on this Mapping Myelofibrosis initiative is really because of knowing how helpless we felt and how in the dark we felt, and how difficult it was to sort of get information and to help navigate this disease with my brother. It was very scary. And then at that time when my brother was diagnosed, I became his bone marrow donor, which was a very lucky thing because I was not only his brother, his younger brother, but also an exact match. And so we started down that journey. But again, it was a very scary time, and we did not have a lot of reference or information or any way or any community to really reach out to. And that is why I've, again, partnered with GSK on this initiative, and feeling that mappingmf.com is such an important, resource.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a rare blood cancer, blood disease, typically diagnosed in patients when they're older than the age of 50, but not always. This can affect young patients as well. And, it's a challenging disease that really can present with a number of symptoms. Fevers, chills, night sweats, bone pain, fatigue, not just feeling right, as Thom mentioned. You could also be diagnosed based on incidental findings of maybe an enlarged spleen, or abnormal blood counts may point you in the right direction. When you ask about preventability, if it's preventable or not, we don't believe that this is something that at this stage of the game we can necessarily prevent, but we can think about treating and really aim to get patients who are diagnosed with the disease to live a long and healthy and quality life. And I think that hope, that understanding is what we're trying to represent with Mapping Myelofibrosis Initiative and mappingmf.com. This is really a website that can be used as a resource for patients soon after their diagnosis. It can be used for people that know someone with a diagnosis if they want to educate themselves and know how best to support someone who's dealing with this disease. I think this can be very scary, as Thom mentioned. When patients get a diagnosis, you understand it's a rare disease. It's a blood cancer. Sometimes the first thing you do is panic, and you try to turn for information, and maybe people around you don't have it and don't know what to do. But this is why this resource is so helpful and so valuable, as this is something that patients, their family members, and even physicians who may not treat a lot of patients with myelofibrosis can use to better understand the disease and get patients where they need to be.